Alright, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another vintage draft here at twitch.tv/McGriff. We are looking at a pretty interesting pack, actually. We kind of go as spicy or as conservative as we'd like. Lots of kind of high power things happening here. There's Emrakul, there's Kiki-Jiki, there's Natural Order. These are all sort of like very kind of all in on a specific kind of thing happening type cards. They're all also quite unique in what they do, but their effects are all very, very strong and often very game ending. Yeah. Chat's saying Emrakul. Well, Pete is anyway. I'm not opposed to an Emrakul pick. I don't mind Emrakul. I don't mind Kiki-Jiki. I think I like both of those cards more than I like Natural Order for what it's worth, but Emrakul is just a very interesting card. And again, it is even more unique than Kiki-Jiki in that sense. So let's go ahead and draft an Emrakul and see what we can't do with that. Well, I'm getting instantly punished because there's a Pestermite in this pack. It's going to be a hard sell not to get me to just take the Pestermite here. There's not unreasonable chance that we will wheel the Kiki-Jiki. It's not guaranteed. The other fact is that the rest of this pack is pretty atrocious. I could take Frantic Search if I wanted to try for some like blue-black, like Shallow Grave nonsense with Emrakul, but I've never found that deck to be particularly great. Could also take Faithless Suiting for like similar reasons, but I'm going to take the combo piece in Pestermite and kind of see where we go from there. Good lord, yeah, we could have actually just been drafting like a pretty ridiculous Splinter Twin deck right off the bat. Kiki-Jiki into Pestermite into Zealous Conscripts is kind of absurd. I'm actually going to take the Zealous Conscripts here. And I'm just gonna really bank on the Kiki-Jiki coming back. That's I'm putting my blinders on this one a little bit, I think. I think we're just gonna try to make it happen. It very well may not happen. I am extremely conscious of that fact. Good lord, there's an Ulamog as well, though. Man, all right, we're just gonna take like outs to like either sneak attack or the Kiki-Jiki. We're gonna see what happens. We're hedging our bets here a little bit. That other pack didn't have much going on in it, regardless, so it wasn't a huge loss in any case. Oh, it's fine. Don't worry. You stated your opinion, but like at the end of the day, I'm not a puppet. I made my own choices. I'll own that. And again, there's a good chance that nobody else wants to be Kiki-Jiki either, right? So we'll see. We'll see. In any case, what are we gonna take here? I don't really love any of this. This pack is quite mediocre. We're still kind of doing that for what it's worth. We're still kind of hoping for a thing. The Blightsteel was interesting as well. This keeps us a bit open. Whatever. I'm just gonna take a red card because it's there, and I don't really have anything better to pick. Jeez. So we actually did find a Shallow Grave, which is interesting. Shallow Grave may actually be the best card out of this pack. There's also Phantasmal Image. This is basically kind of a pick between those two. Because if we wheel the Faithless Looting or the Frantic Search, then Shallow Grave becomes kind of interesting. Whereas Fimage is just sort of generally very good. I don't think Rishadan worked in that deck. Like I said, I think tempo decks are where you want to be at if you're playing Rishadan Port. Decks that are basically trying to win with efficient, cheap threats. Because you do have to tie up a lot of your mana in Rishadan Port. I mean, I literally played it in my white deck the other day, but I don't think this is that deck. I'm going to take the Fimage here. As I said, I'm largely just not a fan of the Shallow Grave deck. It needs too many specific pieces to work, in my opinion. There's a Narset here, there's a Tundra here, there's an Una's Prowler here if I want it to be a Reanimator shell. Ulamog is a good thing to reanimate. It is fair. Also a Duress. I don't know what I'm taking here. Maybe just a Narset. Not really sure what we're doing just yet. Well, Getting past Narset into Time Twister is a thing. There's also a Kozilek, but again, we're doing okay on sneak attack targets, so I'm not, like, particularly worried there. And, like, this is just kind of a combo unto itself. So this was the Kiki-Jiki pack, so we didn't wheel that. I guess I'm not shocked by that, especially because if somebody passed a Pestermite and then saw a Kiki wheel, they might have hoped the Pestermite would wheel. They might have done, like, kind of the same thing I did. Maybe my gut was wrong there. But we couldn't have known. It wasn't like guaranteed not to wheel or anything. Just a shame that it didn't, obviously. Does leave me wondering what on earth we're doing at this point, but we've got outs, we got options. Just gonna take the on-color card. Okay, well, we wheeled the Blightsteel anyway, so we definitely still have outs to be some sort of nonsensical, like, sneak attack thing. Deck's weird, but kind of interesting. Sure, more likely to play that than the other one. Alright, we have, like, outs to some stuff here. And we can still pick up a Splinter Twin, right? The Kiki-Jiki is actually the worst of the two pieces. Especially since we also didn't wheel the Imperial Recruiter. We're going to be fighting somebody for twin combo, though, because somebody put an Imperial Recruiter and a Kiki-Jiki in their deck, presumably. And now they're going to be, like, picking Deceiver Exarch as highly as they humanly can. That being said, if it's in this pack, we're passing it to them. Case in point. Which means they're not actually going to get it. So really, we're just a Splinter Twin shy of actually having a Splinter Twin combo in this deck. What are we passing in order to take the Deceiver Exarch? Because we are taking the Exarch. We're passing Eureka, but we're not really looking at Eureka Shell anyway, so that's whatever. Palinchron does generate infinite mana with a sneak attack, which can then help cast these without needing to sneak them, which is kind of interesting. There's a Bolt, which is just good interaction. I'm going to take this Deceiver Exarch. Again, just really heavily leaning on the hope of opening a Splinter Twin. That or me and the person who took the Kiki-Jiki are just aggressively train wrecking each other right now. Ooh, lots of goodies here. Miscalc versus Force of Negation is a pretty close pick. There's also a Time Warp, but I would take that behind both of the Miscalc, or both of the counterspell effects. I do believe I like the Miscalc better here. That's a Tinker. Okay. Well, we have a Blightsteel Colossus, so I'm probably going to take the Tinker. I've honestly been a little bit underwhelmed by Treachery in this format. Format actually almost feels too fast for it. I'm going to take the Tinker here. Tinker just gives you free wins sometimes. We don't obviously have a strong Tinker base here yet, but we can grab some random cheap artifacts, like maybe we even wheel a Chalice or something. We'll get there on the Tinker. Oh, wait, what am I talking about? Yeah, there's a Through the Breach here. Through the Breach is more ubiquitously good with the cards that I'm playing right now. Damn. Yeah, alright, never mind. I almost missed that, actually. I was looking at the two blue cards and kind of missed the fact that there's a Breach here. We're gonna grab Breach. It's not sneak attack, but it's good. This makes me a little bit sad, but fine, I guess. Actually, I might take Inkwell anyway. We do have the Daretti. Inkwell is kind of a combo with Daretti. We think we can wheel the Inkwell. We don't really need more top end, to be fair. Yeah, Blue Signet's probably just good enough to grab here. Ooh, Karakas is actually kind of a nice combo, especially if I actually do find the sneak attack itself. Memory is another thing that goes with the Narset, but Karakas is just absurd in my experience. Is this a show and tell deck? This is put into play. So notably, I don't get any of the ETB or any of the on-cast effects from the Eldrazi, which makes it worse. I'm probably just taking Ephemeral here as fixing. That is a thing that we have 0 of so far. Show and Tell's a bad card. I might have taken it if it had been like literal nothing, but yeah, a blue-red land is definitely more important than a largely bad card. This deck wants to sneak attack more than basically anything in the world, but if we can get that, we might actually be doing some cool stuff. Ooh, that is a really late counterspell. Like, multiple people passed me this counterspell. This is pick 9 minus... Jeez, this is pick 7? Pick 7 counterspell? Not going to complain. Cloudskate's pretty good. Cloudskate's very good. There's a Flame/2, though, which is early interaction, which I have essentially none of. Like, I actually just don't have removal right now. Kind of leaves me wondering. There's Dynamo as well. Dynamo is, like, yeah, all 3 of these cards are actually... Blue might be open, Pete. I know. It's a little absurd. This is the most open I've seen blue in several drafts. I'm actually not even sure what I'm supposed to take here. I don't think it's Cloudskate. I'm going to take the Flame/, just to have some interaction. Ooh, I'm going to take the Palinchron here. I'm going to take the Palinchron here. I don't believe we wield Tinker, if I'm not mistaken. There's also a Signet, but it's like double off color, which is just kind of bad. Especially because I don't know that I'm going to wield this Tinker yet. In fact, I believe we're not at this point. Take the Necromancy. Oh, no, we did. Okay. 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 Now I kind of regret not taking the Signet, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Does it become an artifact? It does. It's expensive, but Workshop or Factory might actually make this deck just as a random tinkerable artifact. Like, kind of ditto to this Relic. This deck is kind of amazing. I'm not going to lie. It's a sneak attack short of being actually broken, I think. But we can get there. We can get there. This deck is something. This is basically just blue-red combos, more or less. We've got Narset Wheel. We've got everything except the Splinter Twin for a Splinter Twin combo. We have it Through the Breach. We have a Tinker. Like I said, we really, really want... Like, I think I would take Splinter Twin and... I would take Splinter Twin or Sneak Attack over anything, and I would take Sneak Attack over Twin at this point, I believe. Lord. Flooded Strand, Golos. I guess we're just going to take Bribery. That card just randomly wins games for no reason. Alright, this thing's interesting. This thing is interesting so far. Oh, and there's a Time Spiral, too, to go with the Narset. We're never wheeling that, unfortunately. There's a Monolith, which isn't even bad. Wow, this pack is stacked. But, I mean, yeah, like, this is actually just, like, perfect. Like, could not... Shelldock Isle? Shelldock Isle... Shelldock Isle goes real well with all the spicy top-end nonsense we've got going on here. I don't think I'm going to be able to resist that. There's also a Clique in this pack, a Bloodstained Mire, and a Golgari Signet. Signet being off color, but again, a cheap artifact for Tinker, so that can't be ignored. But yeah, we're taking a Shelldock Isle here, real easy. Shelldock is, as Pete has stated in the chat, busted. Simulacrum is actually kind of appealing here. It fixes my mana, and it's an artifact that I can tinker away. Oh, you think Ponder over the Simulacrum? Sad Robot, though, works kind of on a couple of levels, but I suppose Ponder is also kind of mana fixing. The only issue I have with that is I have no shuffle effects for Ponder, which means that, like, I do lose a little bit of my value. I can find it up Narset, though. That's a thing. Yeah, alright. Talk me into it. Ooh, Venser. Ooh, Lotus Petal. Petal doesn't really work, but it is like a 0-drop for a Tinker turn, which is intriguing. I think I am going to take the Venser. Y'all know I love that card, though. Mana Leak? Okay. Wow, we've got 3 2-drop counterspells, folks. We're kind of doing it. I would have been like pretty okay with taking like Probe. Hell, I might have taken a Magda. Magda makes random treasure tokens, which are like not irrelevant in this deck, but this is looking decent. Oh, I do have the Caracas for Venser. That's definitely extra good reason to take him. Extra good reason. His theme wishes to restart, apparently. Yeah, I'll move that over here. Spellseeker or Jace Vryn's Prodigy? Oh my goodness. Spellseeker or Jace Vryn's Prodigy? Stop. Spellseeker can't find Tinker, but it does find all of my counter spells. Finds Flame Slash Ponder. On the flip side, Jace can flash back like a Bribery. Also Ponder. I actually think Spellseeker is better here. Workshop is interesting. I don't think it does enough for my deck that I want it. Treasure Cruise is actually also pretty interesting here. I don't know if that makes the cut, but it's worth thinking about. Golos. Golos Caracas is a thing. Like, this is not a deck that's going to ever activate Golos, but I think Golos is actually playable in this deck just as, like, a random thing. Is Tolarian good in this deck? Probably not, right? But, like, Lodestone Golem definitely isn't. Yeah, I don't have enough cheap artifacts for Tolarian to be at all consistent. It might be a world where I want to bring in a Lodestone Golem. Wow, the disrespect. The complete and utter disrespect. I am offended on behalf of everybody. Wait, Birgi, what do you do? I reckon spell. That part doesn't matter. The horn is meh. Maybe Forge Master. Need to think about that some more, but it's better than anything else. I don't think this works in the deck. I said I'd pick it, but that being said, I don't actually think it works. Yeah, Cyril Front Leader, last pick every time. I don't think I have quite enough fast mana for Wildfire to be reasonable. I thought about it. I did think about it, but I would need more. I would want more mana rocks than I actually have currently. Okay, so the bad news is that we did not find any Splinter Twin. Yeah, there is a person in this draft that picked up a Kiki-Jiki and an Imperial Recruiter and a Twin and got literally none of the payoffs for it, except maybe Resto Angel. There was a Resto Angel in the draft that I passed, I think, at the beginning of pack 3, if I'm not mistaken, so maybe they got that. Maybe. Though Splinter Twin, not a combo with Resto. Yeah, it's also just possible nobody had it, obviously. But there was somebody who picked a Kiki-Jiki hoping to wheel a Pestermite that did not do that and was sad. Hopefully they got out before realizing that. Okay, so Dark Brothers is awful. That was like random top-end fat nonsense. I don't think Forge Master is playable. I just don't have enough actual artifacts to tinker away, I don't think. It just feels a little bit ambitious to play the Forge Master. These are lands. I think I am going to play the Factory. I think that being a random artifact for Tinker, along with like a decent card unto itself, is reasonable. Indeed, it is a 540 cubed, Pete. So this is 28 cards, so I do need to make some cuts. I guess I just cut the Deceiver and the Pestermite. They just don't really fit the strategy. I think I keep the Duretti because it does have like the Wombo backdoor with like the Leviathan and even a Golos potentially just sacking like a relic or whatever. It almost acts as like a weird pseudo Tinker, though it doesn't work with Blightsteel the way you want it to, unfortunately. But it's also just like a decent spell unto its own, in its own right, as it were. Like I said, I really like the fact that the Golos can just fetch up Caracas, Sheldock, whatever. And then just is an artifact if that's relevant. It can like find me a Caracas and then tinker itself away to become a Blightsteel or something. That seems fine. Hell, I could even just see tinkering away a Relic into a Golos if I've already accidentally drawn my Blightsteel or something. Like, that's not bad either. Notably, Duretti is also really good in this deck for shuffling back Emrakul or Blightsteel should that be necessary. So there's some interaction there as well. I really like the fact that Palinchron generates infinite mana, which allows me to... But, like, that might just be win more. That might be win more, since it doesn't work with anything outside of Sneak Attack. I'm not sure, but it's a really powerful interaction, because it also lets me cast all of my other spells for free. Last couple of cuts on this are going to be tough. What do we think, chat? What do we think? I think this is as far as I can get right now. Fimage is actually also kind of cool if you think about it in this deck. Again, largely with Sneak Attack. You can, like, Fimage in. You can, like, Sneak Attack in an Emrakul. And, well, I mean, first of all, they're probably going to concede. But for whatever reason, if they don't... Also, is this legendary? I forget. No, it's not. I could actually just, like, make a copy of Blightsteel or something. Anyway, a bunch of funny things I can do here. But I need to figure out what on earth to cut, because this is really, really, really not obvious to me. I have, like, too many combos in this deck. They're all kind of good, but I don't think I have room for all of them. I can't hold all these combos. I can't hold all these combos. I think Treasure Cruise, as good of a card as it is, I think takes a hike. God, I have to make 2 more cuts from this. This is freaking hard. Narset's really sweet in this deck too, because it lets me find all of my, like, actual, like, combo cards. Like, it finds Sneak, it finds Through the Breach, it finds Tinker, finds Counter Magic. I think Duretti is worth. I think Duretti having his own ability to, like, reanimate dead artifacts, as well as also giving me the out to shuffle back uncastables early on. Yeah, I'm looking at Conscripts. I think Conscripts is an incredible card. I really do. But I do think that, like, sort of just pound for pound, it's not really pulling its weight in this deck as much as I would wish it to otherwise. Be really sick to board in Conscripts against my opponent's Kiki-Jiki combo, though. Just my opponent goes to combo off, I just Through the Breach and steal it. Or something, who knows? Could be funny. But in any case, not really super likely. Yeah, I think I think Conscript is a card that will probably come in at some point, but I think it's fine in the side for now. That leaves us with 1 cut. Realistically, leaves us with 1 cut to make. And that's the hard one, I think. I'm wondering if it's not Ulamog. I'm wondering if it's not Ulamog. The only thing Ulamog really does for me, I mean, it does a lot of things, don't get me wrong. Like, it's a good card, and it works well with the things that I have in here, but I'm wondering if I don't have too many of the top-end cards. And so I'm wondering if I don't need to cut one of them. And I think of the top-end cards, Ulamog is the most redundant of them, in that it doesn't have an ETB trigger. It has a cast trigger, but I'm not likely to cast it very often. So it doesn't have an ETB trigger. It doesn't inherently win the game on the spot, though admittedly doming somebody for 20 cards out of the library can end the game, especially if they are sub 20 cards. I don't think it's Golos. The reason I say that, and I promise it's not just because I have an irrational love for that card, but the reason I'm saying that is because it finds me a bunch of my, like, powerful utility lands, right? It finds me Mishra's Factory if I need a Tinker target, / it is a Tinker target. It finds me Karakas if I want to just establish, like, a value loop. It finds me Shelldock to go find another random big thing. The problem is Inkwell is the only one that goes with Duretti's minus ability, but maybe that's not good enough. It's also just genuinely a very good Tinker target. It's actually a better Tinker target than Blightsteel in a lot of... It's a better target than Blightsteel in a lot of scenarios. Because, like, Inkwell against opponents with removal is just better, right? Blightsteel actually just eats it. Like, I think Palinchron is the literal worst of these cards, but because of the fact that it's such a strong combination with Sneak Attack and with Fimmage, I don't think I cut it there. This is actually tough. This is probably the hardest time I've had in a long time figuring out what the hell the last cut is. I think it's Ulamog. That's like what I keep coming back to. I think Ulamog is the most redundant and the least unique of all of the pieces. Because Emrakul's got a better attack trigger. Blightsteel Colossus can be tinkered for. Inkwell is more resilient. And Palinchron combos with more things and also enables the rest of it. So I think Ulamog comes out. As bizarre as that seems, but I think that's the cut. I'm not dead certain that that's correct, but it is what I'm going to go with, and that's where we're going to settle. All right. I do not need a lot of red. That is true. It's funny. I almost wonder if it's not like Flame Slash. Actually, is that absurd? What if I just cut Flame Slash? I have essentially no early red. All of my red is just combo. All of my early red is, or like, I don't need red early. All of my red cards are just combo cards. I'm essentially a mono blue deck splashing a couple of red cards. And like, Flame Slash is going to be difficult to cast early. Yeah, I'm actually going to do this. This is more a consideration for my mana, because by cutting the Flame Slash, and again, like, I probably will wind up boarding it in like more than one scenario if I'm facing against aggro decks, but I have a lot of early game interaction in the form of counter spells, and not playing the Flame Slash means that I really don't need as much red, because the biggest problem with Flame Slash is like you want it in the early game to buy yourself time, but if I'm only running like 4 or 5 red sources, it's going to be hard to cast in a timely fashion. I do not need that many blue sources, mind you. I think I'm going to try to just top out at 10. Which means I can do like this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I can even add a 6th one here. They really want another island, huh? 10 is so many islands, though. I do have double blue for Counterspell and Narset and Fencer. I have double blue a lot of things, actually. So maybe 11-5 is fine. We really are just splashing red, to be fair. And I even have a Golos, like I said, that can fix for my, like, more or less single red. I blew on a Signet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, no, I like an extra mountain. Go home, Odo, you're drunk. I don't want to not be able to cast my red cards, but I don't need to cast that many of them either. I'm just going to put those over here just for the sake of knowing what my special lands are. Alright. We won the dice roll. Let's see what we get. Well, this hand is awful. This hand is just all of my top end with no payoff. It does have 3 lands in it and a Phyrexian Revoker. This hand basically just wants to draw a sneak attack more than anything in the entire world. Is this a keep? It's like weirdly close to a keep, while like being kind of also pretty close to a mulligan. Ah, man, replace this with like replace any of these nonsense top end cards with like a Ponder, and this is like a snap keep as far as I'm concerned. But oh baby, are we on the play or on the draw? I think we're on the play, right? Yeah, we're on the play, which means we're going to a 6. I'm thinking about this one, Chad. I'm thinking about this one. Pete does not want me to keep this hand. Fine, mulligan. Sadly, we've got the Sheldock and the Emrakul in hand, but I don't know, maybe I can sandbag to ready long enough to, like, ship the Emrakul back into my library? Who knows? We're going to keep this one either way. Oh, wait, what am I talking about? I can just put the Emrakul back in my deck. Now, it's hypothetically on the bottom of my deck, which means it's still probably not a likely candidate for, for getting, you know, found by a Sheldock, by which I mean it won't be, but we got plenty of other, spicy booms in the deck. Spicy booms indeed. There was one of my red sources, which is like a little but probably just want the Tinker. Could also be the Venser. Actually, yeah, let's grab the Venser. Let's any order this, because we're planning on shuffling at some point. Anyway, let's any order this, because if I get the Venser under here, Golos can eventually go find Karakas, and then we can get the Venser out from underneath and, like, kind of establish that loop. Oh, crap. Well, our opponent's turn was better than ours. Oh, man. How good would a Mox Sapphire be in this deck? Can you imagine? This deck actually wanted to uncall Muxen so badly. Ooh, interesting. They played a Sapphire, but then didn't do anything with it, and then they played a Dork. So do I disable the Sapphire or the Dork? I guess probably just... Oh, man. I think the Mox, right? Yeah, I like disabling the Mox here. It's more likely that they need the Moxen. Actually, I don't know. They're probably about equally likely to be, like, random generic. Like, both of these could just be generic mana. It's not likely that both of them are, but it's kind of equally likely that the Sapphire is generic mana versus this being generic. Looks like that was closer to the truth. Oh, yikes, dude. Okay. Well, opponents kind of got our number this game, unfortunately. That's not great for me. Well, I need a couple of turns and one more mana, but, like, maybe that's good enough? Maybe that's good enough and we somehow just don't get countered to oblivion, but we'll see. They have a 4, maybe 5 mana play since they didn't attack with the Dork. Okay. If I get Plow Undered, I am going to pick up my cards, chat. I will never financially recover from that particular line, so... Incoming concede if they cast the card Plow Under. Okay, I can deal with that. Unexpected, but acceptable. Ooh, my opponent is just all of the colors. My oh my. Not quite, not quite. Alright, literally any untapped land will do for bribery. Or Golos, for that matter. I should probably be bluffing Counterspell rather than just F6ing the turn. But... Is this prime time? 6 mana, Green Suns for 5. What's the worst thing that can happen to me on 5? Lord! Okay. Opponent reveals 10 cards. Knight of the Reliquary, Bloodbraid Elf, Huntmaster of the Fells, Oko, Thief of Crowns. That's a yikes. We did find Golo, or a land. So the problem here is that my opponent... Yeah, it's a solid Niv deck from the looks of it. The biggest problem here, unfortunately, is that my opponent does have an Oko in hand, which means that bribery is not super likely to be good here. So I might... yeah, because of the Oko. So I might just play the Golos. And then go find a red source. Or I can find the Karakas, like I said. But I think the red source is going to be better. Yeah. Let's find a red source here. The reason I'm doing that is because, like, Emrakul is still good enough here to do a lot of damage. That's a good question. I believe it is because it's Legendary is a... Actually, that's not true, because I know it stops being an artifact. No, you know what? My revised opinion, or my revised belief, is that it actually is not Legendary. I don't think. I think it would just literally be a 3/3 elk, but I could be wrong about that. Alright, so this is the Oko, I assume. Oh, no, never mind. Sequoia. What is this? Okay. Okay. I mean, Golos is essentially done his thing. It is Legendary. It does not lose the super type. Interesting. Wonder why that is. It's like a weird layering thing. Yeah, I'll take 6. Do you know what's kind of a ridiculous beat here? Is that even if I top deck Emrakul, they can actually just take the hit, not like sacrifice the like a bunch of things, but not the Oko, and then Oko can just turn Emrakul into an elk. Ah, yes, right on time. 23 cards in hand for opponent. Let's guess bribery. Mostly for information at this stage, I think, because... Oh, that's 6 lines? Whoopsies. Yeah, let's guess bribery. Mostly for info. I don't think we can win this game anymore, unfortunately. My opponent's got just too much value on the board at this point. Did a very, very good start. Alright, so what are we looking at here? Prime Speaker, Vannifar. Are there a pod deck, too? That's kind of spicy. Okay. Alright, so that's coming out, because that card doesn't, like, this card just doesn't do anything against my opponent. Like, the best thing I could grab is probably just the Niv. Skyglaive does deal with the Oko. That's true. I guess that's what we're taking. Maybe we're not out of it yet. Alright, alright. We still have this... Oh, wait, no, never mind, we're dead. We're taking 10 in the air, chat. Right? 6/6 plus 2/2. No, there's no chance. We're dead in the air here. Just wanted to do that to show them we could there. But yeah, we're actually deterministically dead on board there. Deterministically dead on board. Okay. So... I think I do want the conscripts against this opponent. I probably don't want the bribery. Like, yeah, they've got a couple of cards, but it did not look good. It did not look good at all. So I'm going to get that out of here. I am definitely going to have to probably make a concession to Flame Slash here. Which makes me think I maybe cut the Blightsteel Colossus of these threats. Perhaps. Cut Factory for Mountain. Yeah, I'm wondering if the Tinker package is just like not good enough here. Cutting Mishras from Mountain hurts, but it's probably reasonable. I do think Leviathan's fine. My opponent's playing Islands, and therefore Leviathan is going to be good. It's also not elkable, which is extremely notable. I think I could just cut Blightsteel Colossus for the Flame Slash. No. No, here I do cut the Ulamog, actually. Here I actually do cut the Ulamog. I think Blightsteel is still better, because it's better with... Yeah, no, the cuts in this deck are not intuitive. I don't blame anybody for kind of getting a bit of a migraine trying to figure them out. We were a little low on red. I do think I probably want to go like 7 red, probably. So I think just cutting an island is fine. We still have a lot of blue sources. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Technically 10, but that's not great. Ugh. Yeah, whatever. We're gonna do that and then just add a mountain. Good enough, good enough. My opponent's playing a spicy one for sure. Very, very spicy brew. Lots of interesting mana requirements. They drafted a really strong mana base though, from what I can tell, which is a big boon. Like a big part of whether or not that deck works. Okay. Okay. Obviously, again, drawing 2 of our like top end cards in my opener is not amazing, but it's gonna be difficult to mulligan 2 island, 1 mountain counterspell revoker. So we're going to keep this and just kind of pray for Duretti or Sneak Attack or whatever. Vannifar is decent because it's a target for the Niv, and they do look like they have a pretty reasonable pod chain. Like, I'm not going to say it's good enough, but that's also because I'm not convinced that Vannifar as a card is good enough for the Vintage Cube. I just think it's too slow. But I think that it's slow, yeah. But I think that within the context of being in a Niv deck at least, like there's at least some argument for that. Alright, so the good news is, I mean, obviously my opponent could top deck the Mox, but the good news is I do get to shut down the Elves of Deep Shadow here. Also, funnily enough, as it turned out, my opponent was literally all of the colors, and so shutting down either was pretty reasonable there. Alright, name Elves of Deep Shadow. It's possible I should have held up Counterspell, but like this is essentially a strip mine. So they still only have a 2-drop here. Oh yeah, they have the birds too, or the Gilded Goose. Did I see that in their deck? I mean, I wouldn't have paid attention to it because it's obviously not something I was interested in. I'll take 1 here. If I draw a Tinker... Wait. Flawed logic. If I draw a Tinker, it does nothing because both of my Tinker targets are in my hand. I guess I would still probably Tinker this into a Blight or into a Golos though. And be like pretty okay with it. Sure, let's stack them back since we didn't block. This is fine. I've essentially just relegated their elf to a 1-mana 1/1, which is not a real magic card, so this is fine. Yeah, I mean, with regards to the Vannifar, basically, if there's going to be a Vannifar deck, my opponent's deck is probably it. Because they have a decent looking little pod chain thing happening. And, you know, and it is a tutor or target for the Niv, so... It's got a couple of like redundancy pieces going on there. No, absolutely not. Get out of here with that. It's not like the most high priority target, obviously, but it is very obnoxious, and therefore I'm not interested. Okay. Oh my god, my kingdom for any answer, or for like any of my combo pieces here. I'd take a Narset. I'd take a Sneak Attack. Now they're doing that, which makes perfect sense. I'll just do this and pass the turn. Alright, we need some action. Our hand is mono nonsense, so... I'm a Sneak Attack away from just kind of doing it all, really. So there is that. Actually, yeah, Sneak Attack would just win the game on the spot, I believe. More or less, anyway. Okay. It's annoying, obviously, but it doesn't, like, do anything currently. Obviously, it's cute that it, like, feeds the goose, but... Come on, just Sneak Attack off the top. Let's go. That ain't no sneak. I do get to power up the Fumarole here, though, which is kind of cool. Sort of start threatening Lyoko a little bit. Yeah, I mean, this is sort of the life and the death of a combo deck, right? If you don't draw the other half of the combo piece, you will lose. And that's unfortunately what's happened. We've drawn literally all the payoff and none of the enabling. Meh. What you gonna do? Alright, opponent. Play your Niv. You know you have it. They've got the Niv, they got the mana. Let's do this thing. White, black, red, blue, green. Boom. I told you they had it. This is them finding the blue mana. Yeah, and here's the Niv. You think I don't know? You think I don't know? I see you, opponent. I see you. What did they draw, by the way? What did they reveal? Oh, they actually just straight bricked? They just straight bricked. Okay. Alright, well, I'm gonna guess a Time Twister here. I obviously wish I had a Narset out, but I can't do jack all with this hand, so, like... What am I supposed to do? Not do this? I need cards, and, yeah, this ain't it. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, okay. I can work with this. I can work with this. That works. So the question here largely boils down to, do I play the Revoker, banishing the Oko, or naming the Oko, and then hold up Counterspell, or do I just hold up Karakas to bounce the Niv and play Counterspell? Like, I'm holding up Counterspell no matter what. So the question is basically, would I rather Karakas the Niv, or would I rather revoke the Oko here? I guess I would rather Karakas the Niv and not take 6, if we're being completely honest. That was a very good Time Spiral for me. Hopefully not that good for my opponent. They're somewhat bottlenecked on mana here. I kind of had hoped that they had found a bunch of cards with Niv so that I could, like, heh, now you don't get them. Instead, I just basically drew them 4 cards, but, you know. Oh, Bloodbraid Elf? Okay, we can deal with the Bloodbraid Elf. Cascades into Thalia. That is irritating but acceptable. So a lot of stuff that they can sack to an Emrakul. I'm gonna say that. But that's okay. That's okay. Like, maybe I should have just countered the Thalia, but I can bounce her, which is like why I wasn't like super into it. Alright, they're just going in here. That's not unreasonable. Alright, so let's bounce that back. Obviously they had to know that was coming. Okay. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 permanents. They're at 16. God, what I wouldn't do for an extra point of damage here. Funnily enough, if I hadn't attacked that Oko, they would just die to Emrakul here. But alas. What can you do? Oh, you liked revoking? Oh well. I didn't want to take the hit for 6, but maybe that was too conservative. Wound up ironically taking a hit for 6 anyway between the food and the between the elk and the Bloodbraid, but whatever. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can have up to 8, but the problem is there's a Thalia on the board, so I don't get to actually... Oh, wait, hang on. No. That's not quite true, though. If I go... Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. This works. Bounce the Thalia. Yeah, bounce the Thalia, play the island. Through the breach. Cast, or we'll put Emrakul into play. Go to combat. So we're gonna attack them. Let's see what they sack. What's like the best case scenario for them? They sack all their creatures, a food, and a land. It says trample, right? It actually doesn't. They might just straight block with the Gilded Goose, but that's also fine, I think, if they do that. That essentially sets them down to like almost no permanence. Yeah, so they're going to block here is what's going to happen. Because somehow this doesn't have trample. But that's okay. That's very funny. Then I get to play the Revoker on the Oko. Go Thief of Crowns. And then we pass. Now leaves my opponent on 3 mana with an Oko they can't use. They likely will recast Thalia and like some other nonsense, like maybe just like a random something. I don't know. This still leaves us in an incredibly good shape because now I can start doing like Golos, Shelldock nonsense things. I'll have counter magic up. So this does leave them in like very rough shape. They need to play something relevant here, like something more relevant than Thalia, basically, which they may or may not be able to do. Skyclave is annoying, admittedly. Sucks for me that they have that one. Okay. So Skyclave gives them the Oko back, which is admittedly very irritating. Okay, so what's the plan then? We go like this, like this, like this, like this. Like this. Like Golos. Okay. Get Factory. Play the Shelldock. Wow. That's pretty bad. I mean, I'm glad I'm not drawing those, but like, holy smokes. That's got to be one of the worst factories, or one of the worst Shelldocks I've ever seen in my life, especially considering the top end this deck can produce. That was like, whoa. Hey. Alright, so the good news is that I've got the counterspell available as well as the Karakas. The bad news is that my opponent now has an active Oko again. And it's on like in fee loyalty. They can try to swap a food for my Golos. Of course, I would just bounce it in response if they did that. Like it forces the Karakas, which means they can actually get, they would be able to get a Thalia through, or a Niv, actually. Wait, can they cast Niv here? Damn, they can. That's kind of silly. Alright, well, we're just going to counter the Niv here, of course. No 6/6 dragons for you, please. Revelark. What does that even get back? Elves and Goose? I can't bounce it either. Yeah, that's actually good enough for a counterspell. It's just a big, meaty flyer, which is just kind of a giant pain in my posterior. Yeah, true. It actually would overwrite it. Like, unironically, that's pretty good. Wait, they just made it into a 3/3. They didn't trade. Sure. That's fine. Like, my opponent has to know I'm not trying to, like, do anything with that here. Like, that's clearly not the plan. Do I bounce it? I'm actually not even sure I do. Like, tying up 5 mana a turn is not actually a particularly interesting proposition for me. And I've already got all my good lands out of my deck. I don't think I do. Now we draw that? Sure. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, just in case I draw a sneak here. Wait. Oh, I almost cast the wrong card there. Whoops, a daisy. That would have been pretty embarrassing. Discard up to 2 cards. Yeah, we're going to discard through the breach here. God damn it. God damn it. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough, deck. Be like that, I guess. Alright, let's power up the factory. And then attack the Oko. If they want to trade for Skyclave, I'm pretty okay with that. Interesting, just let the Oko go down to 3. Sure. This is so weird.
I'm going for a walk.
Okay, be safe.
Yeah.
Sure. We may still lose this chat, which is a bit sad. Sure. Yeah, just losing the game to Oko, real casual like. Why does that card exist? Like, it actually might just be too strong for Vintage Cube. Like, that's which is really saying quite a bit. Man, I don't know. Maybe I do get too aggressive with this attack. I just kind of wanted to clear the stupid Oko, but like losing the Duretti here is a bit brutal. I don't know. With any luck, I'll just top deck a sneak attack, and there will be some justice in the world. Right. So I'm not getting through with the Golos, so I may as well do this now. Ponder is a start. Okay. No. Justice? Justice? No counterspell, please? No counterspell one time? Got him. And now I've actually got the Caracas loop too, so I can just do this over and over again. Not that I will need to, because my opponent... Oh, actually, that's not true. My opponent is, in fact, not dead here, to be fair. Alright, blow some stuff up, OP. Please and thank you. Alright, opponent on 2. I don't think I sneak in the Golos. I might sneak it in on the end of my opponent's turn, but not before. Let's bounce this back to my hand so I can do it again next turn. Kind of limit my opponent's outs here. Okay. Alright. We're even drawing a Mana Leak next turn, which should be nice to kind of like ensure the victory here. They have exactly Knight of Autumn in hand. This will be a little unfortunate, but, you know, not much I can do about that if that's the case. Hey, we got there. Alright. Nice. What a weird game. What a wonky, weird game. Freaking Oko. What a stupid card. An absolutely dumb card. Yeah, I would kill through the Knight, it's true. I just wouldn't get to win with style points. And like, if you're not winning with style points, are you really winning? You have to ask yourselves these questions. The answer is yes, by the way. But style points do make it ever so sweet. And I would say that winning with an Infi Emrakul loop is style points. God, these hands, though. Why? Alright, I accept that. Relic is actually not terrible here either. Decent if we draw the Tinker. I will play Island first on the off chance that we draw Counterspell. I don't think we'd seen this yet. It's like a funny little alt win con. Okay. Found our Revoker target. Ooh, Ponder's nice. I am going to Revoke first, just because I don't know what they're up to, and it could be an Oko. Like, heck, I'm like half tempted to name the Oko, but hey. I'm going to name the thing that actually... Oh, not Simmet. I would wish I had a Simmet right now, but I do not. I haven't had Simmets in so long. I miss them. There's a place near my old house that made them, but no one around here does. Alright, and we'll see how this goes. Relic is also like backdoor nice against like as like Time Twister insurance, because like they don't get to shuffle back any of the cards that are already gone. Notably, they don't have blue mana right now, so there's no incoming Oko. They do have Knight of Autumn mana, though, and if they have that, I have a strong suspicion we'll see that deployed here to take out the Revoker. Next turn, currently just looking like it's going to be a Ponder, but you never know. I twisted last time because it was like kind of had nothing to lose. Here, I'm not going to do it unless I have to. Ooh, it was a Knight, but it was not of Autumn. It was even a Selesnya Knight, but it was of a different sort. Interesting. Breach is intriguing. Okay, let's Ponder first, see what happens. Wow, those are very bad cards. Oh my god, I just realized I actually shut down my own Simic Signet too by accident. Weird interactions you wouldn't see coming up, I assume. Yes, I will shuffle. Alright, so be it. Yeah, that wasn't great for me, obviously. That was not great for me. Alright, I'm going to need my opponent's draw to be like a little loose here, because otherwise I don't know that there's going to be a whole lot of anything happening for me here. Unfortunately. Knight? Cultivate. Okay. Accept. Revealing Plains Forest. My opponent's deck is very well built. I will absolutely give credit where it's due. They built a very cool deck. What was the card they put into play off the Knight? Was it the Forest? I think it was Forest, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Alright, let's... Yeah, let's exile a card. It's weird, because I actually wouldn't mind shuffling that back into my opponent's deck, but I think it's just correct to not let them do that. Oy vey. My opponent's down to 4 cards, and I know that one of their cards is actually bad. Maybe I just give up on the relic here and pop it. Kind of want to, for being honest. I need to draw something here, and this ain't it. Yeah, let's draw a card. That's better. That's better. 28 cards. I'm also on 28 cards. Yeah, let's Shelldock. Hopefully I can hit a whammy here. That counts as a whammy, I'd say. Sure thing. And I guess then we'll just pass. My opponent is presumably going to activate Knight at the end of their turn. Bit of a shame that I had to pop the relic there, but I do think I did the right thing by doing that. Look, I think that average CMC is probably not a fair statistic to consider when you're looking at this, because it's like my entire deck is like CMC 4 or less, except for like all these dumb 11 mana cards, which we're not really trying to cast for retail, so it's going to skew high a little bit artificially, I would say. Oh, come on, you don't... Alright, there's the Knight. Okay. Rest in peace, Revoker. Oh god, is this just like into Oko? I'm gonna be so sad. It definitely is, though. It definitely for sure is. Alright, there goes the Plains. This is just Oko, right? Because they just always have Oko. Oh, it's a birthing pod. Spicy meatball. Can I just draw Emrakul one time? Emrakul one time, please? Just Emrakul one time, 15 them. Oh no, they went to 17, boo. Alright, never mind. No more Emrakul. I mean, Emrakul would still be fine here. They would, like, wipe their board. And probably a bunch of their lands. That's actually a fine draw here, I think. All things considered. Alright. Get the Karakas. Nobody else all blocks my opponent's stuff very well. Yes. Yes. And pass. I have absolutely no idea what that sentence means. What on earth is 1.5 times IQR? Why is my clock so low? I mean, I guess I've been just kind of dirtling or whatever. That's okay. I don't think that this game is going to come to clock regardless. Oh man, you are out-mathing me here. Anything higher than like grade 9 math, I'm just like, whew. Oh boo. Really just banishing light. It's like so brutally efficient and yet but so boring. But I'm somehow just on a 2-turn clock to that card now. Boo. I actually like don't know how many outs I have left. This might be another one of those like Time Twister and Prey turns. Yikes, dude. My opponent just playing their entire hand out here. Oh no, they're just potting. What are you gonna pot away here? I love that they're not paying the 2 life because they don't want to just die to a top deck Emrakul. That's very funny. Wait. Ooh. Yeah, I guess we're dead. I guess we're dead. Man, we're gonna die with the Blightsteel under our Wait, hang on, are we dead? We're probably dead, right? Just trying to think of like what my outs are here. I can Zealous Conscripts, grab a Revelark. Then I block something with the Conscripts, but then I just still die to like whatever on the backswing. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think whatever I do, I don't think it's gonna be good enough here. And I can't twist her into anything really, because I'm just down to like kind of like a wide array of things here. Yeah, GG's opponent. Yeah, fair enough. We got outvalued, and like we drew really, really, really awkwardly. And my opponent just like had a good, strong curve out in all of the games, basically. We just kind of never managed to put our combos together. So it goes. Quickly into the next one. See, like, I actually much prefer hands like this, because like now all I need to do is draw like any of my top end. Because I have like 5 random things that are good with sneak attack, but only 1 sneak attack in the deck, right? So this is like the better version of this in a lot of ways. Well, there you go. That's not bad at all. Did you include Inkwell Leviathan? Because that might reduce it down even further. Even Palancron. I would count all 5 of those as outliers. I would consider Inkwell an outlier. I mean, unless you're speaking in some sort of like mathematically strict sense of the word outlier, which I may or may not be aware of. Ooh, okay. All right. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. So yes, outlier has a mathematical definition. Like I'm speaking sort of in the sense of like cards I'm not planning on casting being outliers. But if you mean like, yeah, again, I honestly forget. Like I know what an outlier means, like things that are, you know, on the opposite ends of a bell curve or whatever. But I don't remember exactly what a card would need to do to meet that exact criteria. Oh, are they interesting? Oh no, my opponent kept a 1-lander and just didn't get there. That's unfortunate, because we're going to tinker them very soon. They might just concede before we do anything. Oh, there's an island. You'd love to see it. No, sir. You may not. Now they're tapped out, which you also love to see. They could get us with a daze here. Wait, is that even true? No. Yes, it is, because I have to tap this to itself to activate it. Cool. So yeah, make itself an artifact and then tinker it away. And I'm going to get the Inkwell against a blue deck with unknown potential here. I don't want to get it like metamorphed or imaged or whatever, so we're just going to grab the Inkwell and go for the relatively deterministic kill, even if it's a bit slower. Sure. Yeah, see, it essentially killed them just as fast, but wasn't as vulnerable to removal and other things. Cool, that works. Okay, well, what do we know? Our opponent is playing a blue-based artifacts deck. They essentially played nothing but artifact spells. They discarded a Mox Diamond, cast a Grim Monolith, and a Dimir Signet. So yeah, probably a blue-based artifact deck, maybe Workshops or something like that. Does that tell me anything about how to board against them? Not really. I think we just kind of run it back. Outlier is anything bigger than 1.5 times the middlemost half of the data. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And so whatchamacallits don't factor into that by that definition. Seems reasonable. This is a nice little hand. Obviously, we'd like to draw a couple more lands at some point, but like got a couple of pieces of interaction, some disruption. Obviously, the Blightsteel is an outlier. See what I did there? But again, we've got sneak attacks and such to mitigate. This is terrifying though. This is terrifying indeed. Ooh, white. We hadn't seen that yet. Oh god, is this just the Grim Monolith? Even just a Signet would be pretty gross here. Basically a Signet. Alright. You did draw land. But my opponent essentially is on their 4th turn while I'm on my 1st, and like that's not great for me. So we'll see what happens here. Could be in for a bad time. You don't say. Alright. Alright. So Blightsteel shuffled back. But I drew into sneak. My god. Opponent go off. Alright, well, opponent's deck is pretty good. I'm gonna give him that. I'm like on turn 4 next turn. They're on turn 6 this turn. That's a yikes. They got a handful of gas now. Billions of mana. Tez, sure. Yeah, my opponent is doing the thing, you might say. X equals 2. Grim, yep. Okay. They're just gonna like hard cast the Blightsteel next turn. Yeah, they're 0-0, that's true. Yeah, the ye old pair up. I honestly consider... Oh, that's very interesting. They're down to 23 cards in deck. That's very interesting indeed. Huh. Alright. So let's Shelldock here. Hit Mommy. And I'll just like Spell Seeker as like a red herring of sorts. Yes, that's fine. I'm just gonna grab Ponder. I don't want to let him know about the mana leak that I have, because I'm not gonna cast the mana leak this match anyway. And we might get lucky and sneak through a card or two here. They're zeroing the Tez. Yeah, they're gonna have to win. Oh, Jesus, that's good. Holy crap. Yeah, are we just getting Emrakul here? Like, how much mana is this? No, but it could be like a Blightsteel or a Nulamog of their own. This is so much mana. Holy crap. Is it an Emrakul? Oh, it's an Upheaval. Barf. Okay, yeah. GG's opponent. You just absolutely did it. That's really good. Not beating that in 1,000 years. Okay, well, let's hope they don't get to do that again, because that wasn't fun. I did not enjoy that happening to me. Do I enjoy puzzle games? I guess it depends. I enjoy puzzle platformers. I don't know about, like, strict puzzle games, if that's what you mean. Like, I'm not a big... Like, I guess, yeah, like, tell me what you mean by that. It's probably not a simple yes or no answer, realistically. Yeah, I don't even know if there's anything I can do about that besides just, like, hope they don't have the nut draw. Would you like to play first? Yes. I don't know why it took me so long to, like, process what that question was asking me, but here we are. This is a good hand, especially on the play. Shelldock on turn 1 into Island, hold up Counterspell. Maybe even get the Tinker on turn 3, turn 4 at the latest, though, which was good enough the first time. Maybe it'll be good enough the second. Okay. So the good news is, excuse me, that the Tinker, or that there's a sweet card under our Thinger. The bad news is that our Tinker is... Actually, that's not even true. Tinkering for an Inkwell is still like 100% reasonable here. I'm not going to complain that we actually found one of our big cards to put underneath here. Alright, well, they didn't have a busted turn 1 mana rock turn. So I have... Ooh, that's a great draw for me, too. Nice, okay. Now I actually feel pretty good about this match. We didn't see any interaction out of our opponent. Like, they really were just like almost like a weird like critical mass storm deck. They're just like not tapping out here, which means I'm not probably going to either. Like, I'm just going to play defensive against what they're doing. We don't need to win yet. We don't need to try to force any action into them like being untapped. Grim Monolith. Yeah, that can happen. Oh, I actually should have attacked them for 2, though, with the factory last turn. That was bad. No. No, it's actually fine. I just realized that was fine because I could have held up double counterspell doing that, which I'm still going to do. Next turn, if they still haven't done anything and I have both counterspells in hand, I can do that plus send with the factory. Oh, no, what am I talking about? I would have had to play Island this turn for that to be real. Oh, I'm dumb. Narset. Yikes. That's very bad for me, isn't it? They're about to try to do my thing. That's my joke. They've played an island this turn. Yeah, I kind of don't want them to get to pay, like, the choice to pay 3. Like, I could force them out of their monolith, but I think I'd rather just counterspell. They have a counterspell here, though. Oh, I'm actually a little bit shocked by that. I was quite certain they would, but I'm also not going to complain. So that was like a window for me to get like extremely punished for playing the way that I did. Luckily, I did not because, you know, no justice and all that. But I very much could have gotten punished quite badly there. Yeah, I'm gonna go for the Tinker here. No, sir. Well, tap your monolith if you want this to resolve. Okay. This is fine on the balance, I think. Now nobody's really doing anything, although my opponent does have a bunch of cards. God, how sick would a Narset off the top here be? Can we get lucky? What do we think, chat? Oh, is this Tez? Oh, Golos. Okay, Golos is pretty good. Golos is pretty good. Yeah, I agree. Oh, yeah. I mean, I've definitely enjoyed Portal. I've never played Wotness or Talos Principle. Yikes, dude. These hands are not good. Like, at all. I would like to stop drawing them. Oh, The Witness. I've heard of The Witness as I have the Talos Principle, but I've never played either, so I don't know very much about those, sorry. Alright, let's Twister. Interesting. Okay. My opponent's down to 25 cards in hand. If I can, like, bait my opponent into, like, drawing some cards here. Crocs is, like, kind of funny against my opponent's, whatchamacallit. Tybalt? Dear Lord. Okay, well, gotta have mercy on my soul here. Fingers crossed I don't hit any particularly brutal ones. Knight's Whisper and Mountain. Alright, Mountain is acceptable. Sure, you have a Mountain, and I'll go to 3. Do they attack me here, is the question. They're 3 cards away from my Shelldock Mattering, Lotus Bloom. Do they attack? Please attack. Yes. Attacking is actually really good. Okay. Yeah, this is actually very, very nice indeed. So I can clear the Tybalt, as well as dome them for 20 cards here. That feels pretty good. Oh my god, wait. Oh, this is cool. Hang on, I think this works the way I want it to, right? I think. Oh yeah, I kind of get to do it all here. This is pretty good. Alright, let's through the breach. They have a Force of Will. Well, that's not fun. That's not fun at all. on. Oh, opponent confirmed Party Pooper. Their deck is really strong, though. I'm not gonna lie. Just blue-based massive artifact ramp with like a couple of like Busta win cons to Bolt and like Upheaval. A lot of counter magic too. We didn't see any counter magic in the first couple of games, and then now they've just shown us like piles of it. Bad beats, unfortunately for us. Bad beats indeed. We have outs though. What do they exile, by the way? Exile the Consecrated Sphinx. Jeez. Yeah, my opponent is not messing around. Wandering Fumarole and a Dimir Signet. So the good news is they're still kind of bricking in terms of actual cards that they're hitting. Like, they're still getting value, so like there's nothing to be ashamed of there, but they are not getting as much value as they might otherwise be able to. Okay. Ooh, this is kind of interesting, actually. Because, yeah, the Sheldock is about to be relevant. And I might be able to get them, depending on what's going on here. If this is just Upheaval, then I'm obviously in for a bit of pain. Oh, dear. I did not realize that this would actually let them activate. That's probably bad for me. I guess I maybe should have bounced the Golos with that on the stack. I didn't really do the math there. I will certainly be able to Sheldock now, yes. Okay, Kuldotha Forge Master, Thran Dynamo, Miscalc. Okay, so the Forge Master is actually a bit of a pain in the butt here. Do you know what the scary thing is? The Tibalt is actually going to be able to like steal and cast the Blightsteel. Notably, they have a mana leak. Oh, wow. This is actually really awkward. They can miscalc the Blightsteel. Yeah, I just realized that. F. Because it's free. Oh, this is so bad for me. Wow, I misplayed this turn really badly. I somehow missed that the only mana they were missing was white for a Golos activation. Because if I'd bounced the Golos first, they wouldn't have been able to do it. And I would have actually been able to just like win. Yeah, I punted this game really badly, actually. Just like really, really badly. That sucks an incredible amount. Fuck. Yeah. I kind of threw this one out the window, folks. I have nobody to blame but myself, either. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so I'm one away from doing that too. Which is also annoying. I guess I'll just cast the Palinchron. Wait, is that good for me or bad for me? I guess it's like net neutral. Gives me a blocker and an attacker, though. Forces them to do something about the Palinchron. I guess if they have a counterspell, the Palinchron is really bad for me here. Meh. No, yeah, it's a Blightsteel. Emrakul would have been much better because we would have gotten the extra turn. I'd feel a lot better about this game. No, I mean, again, they would have been both would have been miscalculable, obviously, as you noted. But yeah, one of these would have been a little bit better than the other. All right. Well, no guts, no glory, I guess. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess let's do that. Sure, I guess I'll tap a mana now. Okay, untap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're just gonna chill. The Lotus Bloom comes in this turn, so we're probably just gonna get completely debated by a freaking upheaval again now, and I'll be sad. Oh no, one more turn on Lotus Bloom? Yeah, next turn they get a Lotus Bloom. They hit my Emrakul and they can cast it? Are you actually kidding me? I mean, the good news is I can Karakas that, but they basically... I mean, it's a 15-minute time warp. I guess that's not that good, if we're being honest. It's kind of funny. I'll give them that much. It's kind of funny. No. Do they not want to do that? Maybe they just realized I could bounce it with the Karakas. Like, you won't get to keep it. It's a 15-minute time walk. Like, they do have a Tibalt. That might just be good enough. But it doesn't actually do very much. I'll think the Tibalt right now would put a Force of Will back in their virtual hand. Although I don't think they'd be able to pitch cast it. I think they would have to hard cast it. That might still just be good, though. Casting the Night's Whisper, sure. There is an outside chance I might still win this game, but we are gonna have to see. We are gonna have to see what happens. Excuse me. This has been a weird one, I'll tell you that much. The more creatures they play, the less happy I am. Because I need the Blightsteel to get through for lethal, and so far they keep putting in things in front of it that are making it not lethal. I will have enough mana to cast the Ulamog next turn, but then if they have like a mana leak in their hand, that's going to be pretty bad for me. Although, actually, no, that's not even that bad. Because they don't lose... I'm like kind of curious as to why they didn't play out the Golos. Like, yes, it's a 5 mana, like, I don't even know what to compare it to, like Reap and Sow, I guess. An unentwined, it's an ugly analogy if we're being honest, but all right. Let's see if this works. It really very easily could not. Like, this folds to like a lot of various counter magic. But we'll see. Okay. Moment of truth. This actually requires a relatively specific sub... Oh, no. Oh, I am a big dummy. They have 3 blockers, don't they? They have 3 blockers. That's bad for me. Well, let's find out what's going on here. Let's get rid of that. And let's get rid of that. Okay. Just classic hardcast and Ulamog, I guess. So they put the Metalworker in front. I'm actually like a little bit surprised they didn't crack the whatchamacallit in response. They called out the Forge Master. But maybe they're holding their out. Oh. Wait. Did I just kill myself? They can still cast that Emrakul, can't they? And now I don't have the Karakas up to bounce it. But I can sacrifice 6 permanents. I can sacrifice 6 permanents. Like, the actual Emrakul Annihilator trigger doesn't kill me. But the damage actually might. Oh yeah, we're gonna die to our own Emrakul here, chat. You ready? Are you ready to die to our own Emrakul? Because I sure am not, but it's happening anyway. Yeah, I think I had to do that there, but that put us in a really awkward position, unfortunately. Yeah, this is an Emrakul, for sure. This is just too much mana not to be. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It does cost 15, opponent. Oh my god, can you calm down? Was this just a fireball for it? No, okay. Oh, they actually over-tapped. That's weird, but sure. Okay. So they gain the extra turn. Presumably not doing much else with this turn. Yeah. You hate to see it, folks. You do hate to see it. My opponent's on 9 poison, 13 life, 20 less than 20 cards in library. They're dead on board to us in like 100 ways. I guess I shouldn't have attacked with the Palinchron, huh? I kind of missed the Emrakul line. Wait. What? Oh, they're just attacking with both here because it's free to do it. Yeah, so I can't actually... Yeah, we're just dead here. Sadness. Oh well, folks. So it goes. That's the end of that deck. That's the end of that deck. You want to play one last match with it? Yeah, you know what? This deck deserves one last match. We're 0-2. Hopefully we can get our victory, our victory, our pity victory at the end. All right, won the die roll. Jesus Christ. I mean, we do have them sneak attack, so this is like actually a fine hand. I'm gonna keep it. It's kind of like doing like little bits and pieces. I've got the artifact to tinker for. I've got the sneak attack target. Like, I don't know, we're doing stuffs. We're doing things. Okay, playing against Sultai stuffs, I guess. Sure. What are the odds that my opponent has some sort of wheel effect in their hand right now? Probably 100%. Okay. So I'm gonna hold up Venser here against possible shenanigans from my opponent. Oh, if they pay the red, then they 100% just have Wheel of Fortune. This is 1000% Wheel of Fortune. Now, what I'm scared about is they paid the red. Like, they could have... This could be like... I mean, this could be a lot of things that mess me up pretty badly. Is this Fallen Shinobi? Okay, I can actually beat that, which is funny. Geez, Shinobi's really good against my deck, too. But now they're just going to die, which is really funny. Well played, opponent. Nice. Venser was actually way better than a counterspell there. That's really funny. Alright. Get poisoned, opponent. Hey, we did it. Power-wise, probably Hullbreacher. I think Hullbreacher is the better card overall. Narset is more attackable. Hullbreacher has Flash, if I recall, which means you can, like, if your opponent tries the Time Spiral, you can just flash in the Hullbreacher and just completely blow them out. For fun and balance, Narset. Narset every time. For fun and balance, absolutely Narset. For power, absolutely, definitely Hullbreacher. That card is messed up. Like, egregiously messed up. Like, that card is a straight-up mistake, as far as I'm concerned. There's no format that is better for having a Hull Breacher in it. Okay, so my opponent doing Sultai value things, I guess? It's the best thing I can use to describe that. Seems fine. I'll have to be on the lookout for that. But we got a lot of counter magic to disrupt that. We just kind of drew a slow hand, but it got there. So if we can draw, yeah, like this is actually a really strong hand. Obviously, we need to draw a bit of mana and get there, but like this is just a good hand. No, Breacher is an egregious card. It is incredibly powerful. Like if you were just building for like pure strength optimization, whatever you want to call it, 100% Hull Breacher every time. But it's not a fun card to play against. Like that card is miserable. Utterly miserable. Like I played against it. I haven't played it against it in Q, but I played against it in EDH a ton, and it's an honest to god mistake. That card is just terrible. It's like the worst elements of Smothering Tithe and Narset stapled into one card with Flash. Like what? Yeah, we're gonna keep this. Having the counter magic is nice because it means you can intercept the creatures. Well, they could have a 2-drop here, I suppose, but my opponent also looked like they were on like 4-color nonsense, so we'll see what that's about. Maybe even 5-color nonsense. Actually, I think, yeah, there was some green in there too. Green, black, white. Yeah, we saw almost every color. The white might just be because it's fetchable. We haven't actually seen white cards from my opponent so far. Or red, to be fair. Though I do suspect there's a Wheel of Fortune in my opponent's deck, certainly. There's the mountain. I kind of want to jam a Narset, but I feel like it's just safer to hold up counter magic and eventually just through the breach my opponent. Because we will win, obviously, if we get to through the breach. Ooh, my opponent missed a land drop. That's probably not good for them. Okay. Alright. I'm going to keep holding up counter spells here. Next turn, if they're still holding up their mana, I will probably just go Narset and hold up Miscalc, since Miscalc is still clearly doing fine right now for us. If they tap out and try to get me with something here, then we're gonna go with for the reach. What is this? Was your hand really that slow, opponent? Like you were just dying for green mana here. Now they have 2. That's okay. Alright. Jeez, that's a draw. So the Narset might actually elicit a counterspell from them if they have one. It did not, which is surprising. Let's roll her down. Can we spike the Time Spiral? Really scare my opponent? No. Toretti's a fine draw, though. Now, they can't clear the Narset, and they might be incentivized to try to do something to take care of her. And then, like I said, if they drop their guard here, we can just swoop in with the Emrakul and kind of clean up. In the meantime, we have both a Miscalc and a Mana Leak available, should my opponent try to do something reasonable. Okay. It's gonna be OP. It's always one of those. These matches are always sad, right? Because both of us are 0-2, and we're basically just playing for like the ultimate dream crush of like getting any money back out of this stupid draft. All right, but I don't care what this is. I'm countering it. Yeah, easiest Miscalc. And like the funny thing is that like even if they force back or whatever, I'm just gonna Emrakul them. Okay. That just sort of happened, so I have to assume I'm probably clear to launch on this Emrakul. Yeah, we're just going. Oh, not actually casting it, unfortunately, but we're 1000% just going for it here. What's that, opponent? You have 6 permanents in play. Got bad news for you. Scoop them up. All right, all right. I mean, to be fair, my opponent isn't dead. They're at 5, and I'm not currently putting any pressure on the board. However, it's going to be a rough road to recovery on this one, I expect. Especially because we know that they have no lands in hand. They've been top decking lands every turn they've played one. So they currently have 5 cards in hand, and 0 of them are lands. Oh, please don't salt. Please don't salt rope me here. That would suck. Oh, they're typing something. I don't think they have. No, they haven't. All right. Emrakul, shuffle back in. All right. That's a land. Spellseeker cannot find Time Spiral. God, how funny would that be? It'd be really brutal, but it'd be really fun too. All right, let's look at some cards. Bribery? Yeah, what are you working with, OP? What are you working with? I need a win condition anyway, so this is probably good enough. I want to see what you're playing with. Show me what you got. Ooh, can I get their Fallen Shinobi just for fun? No, they wouldn't show me. Meanies. Meanies wouldn't show me what they had in their deck. They went to the grave with their secrets. All right, well, salvaged a win out of that deck. I'm a little sad, but to be fair, the losses we took were good losses. Honestly, they were good losses to good decks. Not much you could do about that. Yeah. Well, if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you ever so much. And do go check out the Twitch channel as well, so you can catch me doing these drafts live. But until next time, take it easy and have a good one.